Baruch Hashem. Baruch shechianu v'kiyimanu v'yiganu lazman hazeh. Be'ezrat Hashem. Today, guys, we are going to begin the study of Masechet Bava Metzia. Very, very, very intricate, detailed, complex Masechet. Goes through a lot of monetary law, monetary disputes, commerce, interest. It's a tremendous Masechet. The Zohar Kadosh says when a person learns Masechet Bava Metzia, so then we know that sometimes a person, God forbid, he could knowingly violate a sin. He could know that something is wrong, and he does it anyway because of temptation or whatever the situation may be. When a person learns Masechet Bava Metzia, the Zohar says his intentional sins are now turned into unintentional sins. It's a lower level of Avirah. So it's a very powerful learning that when a person learns Bava Metzia. So therefore, Rabotai, it's an honor and a privilege to start with you guys today, and let us begin. The first important thing that we have to know about this Masechet is just one principle that is so important to this Masechet, and that is what's called, number one, a muchzak. Muchzak means the person is holding on to the item. He has possession of an item, or he has possession of money, and it's in his possession. The Torah says that when a person has possession of something, so then if somebody claims that it's his and not the person who has possession of it, then the burden of proof is not on the person who has the possession of the item, that he has to prove that he needs to hold on, that he deserves to hold on to it, but rather the burden of proof is on the person who's claiming that it should go to him. So if, let's say, somebody has a pen in his hand, Reuven is holding on to a pen, and Shimon comes and tells Reuven, hey, that's my pen. So then Reuven doesn't have to prove that it's his own pen. Shimon has to prove that it's his pen. The burden of proof is on the one who's claiming against the person who has possession. That is a very important halacha in the laws of Bava Metzia. Very important to know that. So over here, this Mishnah starts off with a situation where they don't have any proof, and nobody is actually the sole owner of this thing. Nobody is holding on to it by himself, but rather there are two people that have possession over this object. So says the Mishnah. Let's begin together. Thank you, Hashem. Here we go. Two men, or it doesn't have to be men, but two people are holding on to a talit. Talit over here means anything, any kind of a garment. And the Mefarshim explain they're holding on to the edges of a talit. So, Shnai Muchazim Batalit. Ze Omer, this one says, Ani Metzatiha. This one says, I found it. Guys, do you hear me? Is everybody hearing me okay?
Yes, Rabbi.
Okay, great. No, we lost Ronnie for a second. Let me get him back on. Sorry. Hold on, gentlemen.
I'm here, Rabbi. Ronnie or Rodney?
No, Ronnie. Okay, sorry. Here, let's see if we can get him back on. Okay, Mechila. So again, let's start over. Shnai mochazim betalit. Two men are holding on to the talit. They're holding on to the edges of the talit. Ze Omer, this one says, Ani metzatiha. He says, I found this talit. Veze Omer ani metzatiha. And the other one says, no, I found this talit. Now, the idea over here is like this. They are both claiming to have found this lost object. You see, we're going to learn Be'ezrat Hashem later on in the tractate that when you find a lost object, you first have to determine whether or not there are certain identifying features about that object that can be used in order to determine the owner of the object. For example, let's say something has a hole in the bottom of it. That's an example of something that could be a unique feature to the item, that if somebody were to claim, he says, oh, that's mine, right? That item that you announced that somebody lost the talit, it's mine, right? So then you'll say, well, tell me something about it so that I should know that it's yours. So then you would say to him, he would say, well, it has a hole on the bottom right corner. So then that would be an indication that it's really his, and you would give it back to him. This talit is a standard talit. It's got nothing there. There's nothing unique about it. They found it in the middle of the street somewhere. It doesn't have a name. It doesn't have a bag. It's smack in the middle of nowhere. And the person who lost it definitely doesn't think he'll ever see it again the rest of his life. So therefore, it's now permissible for the person who finds it to actually take it and keep it himself. So now these two guys are fighting, and they say, this guy says, I found it. The other one says, no, I found it. So they're fighting over it. That's case number one. Case number two is Zeh omer kula sheli v'zeh omer kula sheli. This one says it's all mine, and I bought it. This one says it's all mine, and I bought it. Right? What does that mean? It means that one of them, they were in a store, and one guy gave money to the store owner for this shirt, let's say, and the other guy also gave money to the store owner for the shirt, and the store owner only wanted to accept money from one of them. He only wanted to sell it to one, but the other guy just threw the money at him. Now he doesn't know, he's got 100 customers. He doesn't remember which one of them did he want to actually sell it to and which one of them he did not want to sell it to. So now they're both fighting over it. This one says, I bought it. The other one says, no, I bought it. So now we're in trouble, right? So what do we do in this situation? Says the Mishnah, so each one of them has to swear. He has to literally swear that he does not have less than half of the ownership of this item. And the other one also has to swear that he does not have less than half of the ownership of the item, and they divide it in half. Now, what does that mean? First of all, what kind of swearing is that? This guy doesn't say that he is swearing that he owns half of it. He's saying that he owns the whole thing. So let him swear that he owns the whole thing. The answer is we're not going to let him swear that he owns the whole thing if he's only going to get half. So he's going to swear that he gets half. Now, he's not going to swear I own half because his claim is that he owns the whole thing. So therefore, what he's going to do is he's going to swear in an interesting language, I swear that I do not own less than half of it. And the other guy says the same thing. And he swears in God's name that he does not own less than half of it. In both of the cases, by the guy who found it and the two people who are fighting over who bought it, that's what happens. Now, the idea over here is that they are both obligated to swear because of the fact that, number one, we don't have any proof. There's no document, there's no witnesses, there's nothing over here to prove what happened. It's just two people that have possession of this talit, or two people that have possession of the shirt. And like we said, possession in Torah is everything. The burden of proof is on the person who does not have possession. In this case, they both have possession to the edges of this talit. So therefore, being that they are both in possession of this talit, so therefore they have to split it. Now, what this means on a practical level is that most likely what's going to happen is they are going to sell the talit and take the money and split the money. That's the simple understanding of what's going to happen over here. So now, that's case one of the Mishnah. Why did the rabbis make them both swear? What's the idea of the swearing? The answer is like this. The rabbis were afraid of the following situation. A person finds a lost talit no signs on it, no nothing. He goes, he picks it up. It doesn't have to be a talit, by the way. It could be a shirt or anything. He goes, he picks it up. It doesn't have any identifying features to it. He's going to keep it. Now, somebody sees that that's just what happened. He found this talit, he picks it up, and now he's going to keep it for himself. Says this guy, the onlooker, why should this guy get to keep the whole thing for himself? Let me run, grab onto it myself. I'll hold on to it all the way to Beddin. I claim that I found it first, and then I'll get half, right? Very good. And it's not the end of the world because I'm not taking money out of this guy's pocket. He just found it himself. So the rabbis went ahead and made a person swear in order that it should be clear that you can't just go ahead and do that. If you are expecting to get half, you're going to have to swear in God's name that you are the one who, that you actually do own no less than half of it. So this was implemented as a deterrent in order to make people kind of stay away from doing this kind of thing, because somebody might say to himself, listen, I'm not really causing him to lose money, right? I'm not really doing that. I'm just, not letting him keep the whole thing that he found. When in halakha, that's really not true. When somebody finds something and he gets to keep it, he's now the complete owner of it. So you are causing him a loss of money. Okay, that's step one of the Mishnah. Says the Mishnah, another very interesting case. Zeomer kula sheli. This one comes and says, it's all mine. V'zeomer chetzia sheli. And this one says, no, only half of it is mine. So one guy says, it's all mine. The other guy says, no, half of it is mine. No, it's not half of it is, not all of it's yours, half of it is mine. Now, haomer kula sheli. In this case, what happens over here is there's a dispute about how much of this talit, half of it, because the first guy is admitting that he doesn't own half. He's saying that he only owns the other half, right? Half of it, he agrees, is not his. So when the first guy says that the whole thing is his, so we can at least give him half because that everybody agrees to. The question is, what about the other half? The dispute over here is on the other half, in which the first person is saying that he owns the other half as well. And the second person is saying that no, he owns the other half. So there's a dispute about half of it. So guess what we're going to do? We're going to divide half of it. And we're going to say the first guy gets half of the second half, and the second guy gets half of the second half as well, and they both have to swear. So now over here, the first guy is going to swear that he owns no less than 3/4 of the whole talit. And the second guy is going to swear that he owns no less than 1/4 of the talit. Let's see it inside. Zeomer chetzia sheli. This one says half is mine. And zeomer kula sheli v'zeomer chetzia sheli. This one says half is mine, and the other one says no. I'm sorry, I keep saying it wrong. Zeomer chetzia kula sheli. This one says it's all mine, and this one says half is mine. Haomer kula sheli, the one who says it's all mine, yishava she'en lo ba pachot mishlosha chalakim. He's gonna swear that he owns no less than 3/4. V'haomer chetzia sheli, the one who says I own half of it, yishava she'en lo ba pachot merevia. He's gonna swear that he owns no less than 1/4. Ze notel shlosha chalakim, ze notel revia. So one guy is going to get 3/4 of it, the other guy is going to get 1/4 of it. Okay, I hope it's clear, guys. That is today's Mishnah. If we have any questions, bechavod, we can take them now.
Thank you very much, Rabbi.
Okay, tzadikim. Chazakim u'bruchim. It's an honor and a privilege. B'ezras Hashem, dinner tomorrow, 9:30 a.m. We'll go to Mishnah Bet.
Thank you, Rabbi.
Thanks, bye.